Alright, it's Friday afternoon on a start of a 4 and a 5 day trout fishing trip, although my wife would disagree and say it's a bit of a cycling trip, but that's just semantics really. So she's off for a bit of an afternoon cycle. I've ducked down to one of my favourite spots, Wollondibby Inlet. It's been many years since I've been down here. I've caught many trout over here over the years. Although I find Jindabyne very tough at times, it has been quite a happy spot for us. So what I'm going to do is throw some lures all the way up around here, up behind me towards the bay there, and I might, even if I get a chance, work around to Curiosity Rocks, which is behind me there. So we'll see how we go. Okay, so what I'm starting out with today is my old favourite. It's a little Vibrax from Blue Fox. They don't make these models anymore, so I tried to wipe a heap of them as I can. I've caught more trout on this than just about anything else. It's, I guess you could say it's slightly unfashionable, being this sort of the vibrating blade and the old inline spinner, but believe me, these things work on trout. They just can't seem to resist them, especially rainbows. So what we'll do is we'll use this all the way up into the bay here a little bit, maybe round into where Wollondibby Creek flows in, and then perhaps around this other direction here. But we'll try a few different lures, some minnows and some plastics. If we get into any deeper water or anything like that, and there's some rocks there, might throw a sort of a vibe or a spoon, for instance, especially around when we get round towards Curiosity Rocks, which you probably can't see at the moment. A little bit of deeper water there, you can sink it down a bit. You get a few salmon around there too, mainly little ones, but you never know your luck. You can actually see there's a nice little rock ledge coming out there. We'll try and hit that a little bit, like run some lures alongside it. So the trick here is to let the Vibrax sink a bit, and then just a slow, steady retrieve. There's absolutely no skill involved in using these. They're just a dead straight retrieve. In fact, if you do anything except a dead straight retrieve, you're going to knock it out of line, it'll tumble, it won't work. So just as dead straight retrieve. They do come up to the surface fairly quickly, so vary your retrieve till you get the right sort of speed to keep it down a little bit. They do cast quite well as well. I'm not really putting much effort into this at the moment. A little bit sort of shallow just in here. This looks like a really prime spot for, I don't know if you can see that, but look at this prime spot towards evening with all of this freshly flooded sort of grass here. Because the lake's coming up, there'll be rainbows and browns pushing up here on the evening. So I think along here, especially with it drops in a little bit, there'll be fish cruising. So this is the sort of spot we'll be looking for later on. This just doesn't appear to be happening. I've worked all the way around the bay here. I might go up into the creek a little bit more. We've seen one fish. Mind you, I'm not surprised. It's still fairly early in the evening. It's hot, it's sort of clear. A I'm not surprised. Jindabyne's notoriously tough, so that evening bite I'm hoping is when we'll get some fish. So we'll keep working around and then head back to the car. We don't do any good, and then work around the other way. We'll change over to some minnows, I think, or maybe some plastics as we get to some deeper water. Don't like the look of this. Looks like can't get over the fence. Typical. Yeah, look, I mean, that's reasonable enough. He's saying you can get through and do your fishing, but don't cut the fence. Nothing wrong with that. I thought he was actually going to be a sign that said no fishing past this point. And there we have our first trout for the session. I wasn't even running the camera, would you believe it? Only a baby, a little rainbow. Other one's about, there we go. Another little one. Back you go, buddy. Well, that was a bit of a failure. I did get one small fish to avoid the donut, and late in the piece just now I had a couple of decent hits. Well, one very good hit, one light hit, and a follow from a fish that was just legal. Right now there's actually fish rising around the place. Well, there was anyway. A little breeze has just picked up now. I suspect if I was going to hang around, I might have caught some fish still, maybe put a bait out. I don't have my fly rod, which was a mistake, but maybe as it got dark on some minnows or something like that. I did probably make one mistake. I came down too early. I juiced out fairly early in the piece. I'm a bit sick at the moment, so I didn't have the energy to kind of keep going all the way around I wanted to. I didn't change lures either. I stuck to the Vibrax. Maybe I could have gone a little minnow, or I really wanted to get some plastics in some deeper water, specifically over that way, but it wasn't to be. So, first session of the fishing trip, bit of a failure. Another fish out there. A few starting to rise around the place.